Good afternoon and welcome to Building Boston and Beyond. I am your host, Lydia Rivera. This afternoon we have a guest, Beverly Johnson. She is the first woman president of the Massachusetts Minority Contractors Association. The Minority Contractors Association is an organization that works to ensure a level playing field for minority contractors and women businesses. Obviously that's very important. What we want to talk about today is organizations of which Beverly oversees that work to help the community and enhance participation and ensure that it's an inclusive process and people are offered the opportunity to join the other organizations, other contractors that are able to reap the opportunities available in Massachusetts relating to construction projects and a lot of other work that exists. So with that said, I'd like to introduce my guest, Beverly Johnson.
Thank you for having me today,
No,
Lydia.
thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. I know you have a lot to do, and congratulations on your appointment.
Thank you.
That's really great.
It's
being
exciting.
the first woman, and we were talking earlier, I know it's exciting, and I know you're very excited, and it's a volunteer position, but I think from your past, and we'll talk about that, what you've done and what you want to do in the future, and you continue to do, is advocate for that. You
Right.
have your own business, you're an entrepreneur. You worked for the BRA, for the
Right.
city of Boston for a number of years, so it's not, you're not new to the rodeo. You know how Boston works, and you know that sometimes you just need to roll up your sleeves and get the work done.
Absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
So I think that's great. So I'd like to talk about, let's just share a little about what you've done in the past, just briefly, and then up till now.
As you mentioned, I worked for the BRA. I was actually the first African-American woman appointed as a department head at the BRA, and it was during my tenure with them that I really developed a passion for community economic development relative to looking at the neighborhoods of Boston, determining what kind of economic benefits could be generated for residents who actually are impacted by redevelopment or new construction in their neighborhoods. So it was an exciting opportunity for me, and at some point I decided I wanted to hang up my shingle and go out as a consultant and do this kind of work full-time. And so I established my company in July of 1994.
Wow, that long, wow.
And
20 years.
20 years, yes.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
That's wonderful.
so here I am. I never looked back. There are times when I say, wow, I walked away from a pretty influential position that paid well.
Right, right.
And decided to join the ranks of entrepreneurs who have to get out there and really, hustle to get the contracts.
No, I applaud that. 20 years is a long time. And as you know, we've worked on projects together, so I can definitely understand how that works.
So once I left the BRA, a couple of opportunities came along. First of all, I had done a lot of work with the community when I was with the agency, and I was fortunate enough to be on a team that was awarded a contract with the MBTA to do environmental work. And my role on the team was to do all of the public participation work. Based on that first contract, the MBTA really liked my approach in developing strategies to build public support on their projects.
Right.
So I have been fortunate enough to have been involved with some fairly large MBTA projects as the public involvement lead over the past 20 years. And
Yeah, let's name some of those. The Red Line?
I was involved in the renovation of Shawmut and Ashmont stations, along with the new construction of Fields Corner
The public
station.
process, yeah.
The public process. I was the public involvement lead on that. I also wound up being the public involvement lead on Urban Ring, which has to be one of the longest running MBTA projects in history. Initially, I was the backup person. Unfortunately, the person that had the public involvement lead passed away, and so I wound up taking the lead, I think, for the next 5 years. I also was the public involvement lead on the first phase of Green Line Extension, design development, and that was very exciting because, wow, you've got 3 densely populated communities who are going to benefit from the project, and we had to, we did a slew of public meetings, and
that was Somerville, Cambridge, Medford.
Somerville, Cambridge, Medford.
Yep.
Somerville is slated to get, I think, 7 new stations. So the bulk of the public involvement work that we did was with the city of Somerville.
Right, right. So now, I mean, you transitioned obviously into other contracts, and now you're taking the MMCA on. Now, let's talk about little, like, what is their role? What is their goal? Their
Our primary role is in the area of advocacy, as you mentioned, and our advocacy efforts focus on really it's sort of twofold. Number one, we identify projects in the neighborhoods and generate opportunities to talk with developers and owners about their MBE goals, and in some cases negotiate understandings with them relative to getting our members opportunities. Now that can be in the form of developer-sponsored meet and greets, where they come out to the neighborhood and meet all of our members at a specific time and date and talk to them about the specifics of the job in terms of, you know, how large it is, when they expect to start. So that's one level of advocacy that we do.
Do you work with the Office of Supplier Diversity for the state as well?
Yeah, that's another level of advocacy that we do. We work with the Office of SDO and actually have more of what I would call an informal affiliation with them. For instance, SDO is sponsoring a workshop in about 2 weeks with our members as well as non-members. Anybody who's working in the minority contracting community is welcome to attend the workshop, and the focus will be meeting the thresholds to become a certified business.
Okay, so they're going to help to
So
provide
we provide
guidance.
that level of technical assistance and training to our members through our affiliation with SDO as well as DCAM, the Division of Capital Asset Management. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but
I heard of DCAM,
they are responsible. They're the state's landlord, and they also develop projects on behalf of the state. So MMCA is working with DCAM to provide workshops to our members. We're scheduled to have the next one on April 16th, and that particular workshop will focus on the requirements for getting DCAM certified. Because in order to work on their projects, a contractor or a subcontractor has to be DCAM certified.
And that's separate from SDO certification?
And that's separate from
I have to write that
SDO
down.
certification. So we have an SDO workshop on March 19th and a DCAM workshop on April 16th to provide that level of technical assistance to our members. Our third level of advocacy focuses on making sure we have a seat at important tables that are going to generate projects on a substantial level. Let's use the Mass Gaming Commission as an example. They have a diversity committee that's been established to provide guidance to the Gaming Commission on how to increase diversity for minority businesses across the board, both in the construction trades, in the planning phase, and the post-construction phase. So we have a seat, MMCA has a seat at that table.
And that's you.
And that's me.
That's great, yeah.
And so I believe they meet on a monthly basis. I'm only a month into my presidency, so I'm still learning the ropes, but we have a seat at that table. And so when the project achieves final approval and begins to move towards that pre-development phase, our members will have the level of information that's required to submit bids within a time frame in which they can be considered for work.
Exactly, so like an inclusive effort.
An inclusive effort.
Now, what about 2024? Is that the same type of concept as that?
It is the same type of concept, and it's an initiative that I'm going to propose to my board as something that we should explore. There's another level of advocacy that I wanted to highlight to you, excuse me, that's pretty exciting. We have a formal relationship with the Massachusetts Association of Community Development Corporations, MACDC.
Okay.
We have a...
Is that Joel?
Joe Kreisberg is the executive director. We have a memo of understanding with them relative to generating work opportunities for our members. So what's exciting about this initiative is that 6 member CDCs, Codman Square, Madison Park, Urban Edge, Jamaica Plain Neighborhood Development Corp., Nuestra Comunidad
the South End.
in the South End, and what is the final?
Is it Uplands Corner? No. What is that?
Dorchester Bay.
Okay, Dorchester Bay.
So those 6 community development corporations agreed to identify projects that would be used to maximize MBE participation on their during construction. So we have 11 projects in the pipeline, and approximately 4 of those projects are currently in construction, and our members are getting work on those jobs. As a matter of fact, one of our members functions as the general contractor on one of those jobs.
Okay, excellent.
And we have another 7 that are moving through the pipeline while they're lining up financing. So that's an exciting initiative that happens right at the neighborhood level. We're in the business of building wealth and capacity. That's what we're trying to do through our advocacy efforts. And so the Boston Pilot Project is a good example of how we can get work for our members at the neighborhood level that helps them to develop financial and operational capacity.
God, that's excellent. And when you look at the membership, we had spoken prior to the show, it's 75 and growing, so you do have an effort into obviously enhancing membership. How does someone learn about joining the organization?
Well, there are a number of ways they can learn about it. First of all, we have a website, and an individual can actually go to our website and become a member. They can fill out an application. They can pay.
Is it MMCA.org?
MMCA.org,
Okay,
yes.
excellent.
Yes. We try to invite non-members to our membership meetings. We held our first membership meeting of the year last night, and we had a great turnout. There were a number of companies there who are not members, but joined on the spot.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, based on the goals that we identified for the upcoming year, which I'd like to briefly walk you through.
Yeah, definitely.
So those are the 2 primary ways. We're also hoping that word of mouth helps us to get members. The organization is very well positioned publicly at these tables that I mentioned, in our relationships with members of the public sector. So word is beginning to really, we're beginning to generate quite a buzz publicly that I think will result in us building our membership base.
Right, no, I agree. And the additional initiatives that you wanted to mention?
Let's see, there's Boston Pilot, there's Mass Gaming Commission. We're working with Massport.
Oh, okay.
You know, advising them on their DBE program and, you know, looking for opportunities for our members. We're also working with UMass Boston on their huge expansion program. This is really sort of an offshoot of our relationship with DCAM.
In the convention center. Are you
And
working on that?
you know, through our work with Massport,
Okay, that's true.
we do have a level of
association,
involvement and association on the convention center
Right,
project
that
and
makes
the
sense.
upcoming expansion of that facility.
Yeah,
Yes.
that makes sense.
Yes.
Wow, that's excellent.
Yeah. So the board and I have identified a series of goals that we'd like to achieve in the upcoming year, just to move the organization, I should say, put the organization in a stronger position operationally as well as publicly.
Publicly, yeah.
Number one, we want to be able to communicate to our members, our corporate partners, and our supporters on a regular basis. So we're going to be launching a quarterly e-newsletter, and our goal is to get to launch the inaugural edition at the end of the first quarter.
Okay, excellent. And then when you look for the support, I mean, you must have some strong relationships with the legislative body that really support, obviously, MMCA's goals and initiatives.
We do have a strong relationship with the legislative body. We're going to be working to strengthen it. We're going to be looking at how we can build a similar relationship with members of the Boston City Council. So we do have those, excuse me, political relationships that are very important in trying to get specific initiatives, support for specific initiatives. Our second goal is to launch a signature fundraising event that'll be held on an annual basis. We're looking to raise money so that we can hire an executive director.
Oh, okay.
And increase our operational efficiency. So that's another goal that we're hoping to achieve this year. Probably looking at, it's probably going to be closer to the end of the year before that event happens, because we need an opportunity to do a lot of planning.
Right, right. Now that would be the first time ever that MMCA has a paid executive director?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And
that will report to a board and
that will
yourself
report
as
to the board.
chairman.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
That's a
so
good idea.
we're really looking forward to having that level of staff support. Currently, there are 9 board members, including me. And that'll get me to our third goal, which is in the interim, before we can hire an executive director, we decided to become a committee-driven organization. So we've established a series of board committees that really sort of, do the work.
Yeah, yeah.
We understand that we have to be very organized and focused in order to keep our committees active and keep the work moving so that nothing falls through the cracks.
Right, right.
Let's see, another key goal is to get our members engaged in the organization. Up to this point in time, we've never had an opportunity for our members to serve on our board committees. So we're urging them to do that. We're also reestablishing monthly membership meetings. It's been a while since we've done that.
Yeah, that's true.
And so we're going to use those meetings as an opportunity for technical training and assistance. We're going to have speakers come in to talk on different topics.
Right.
And so we just want them to become very much engaged in what we're doing,
yeah.
to own what we're
Right.
doing.
I applaud your efforts because you know what, you're coming in, you're new, and but you're not new to the process and what you've experienced as a business owner here in Boston, and contracts, et cetera. So I think the momentum is there. If you maintain the momentum, continue the
Absolutely.
monthly memberships, the speaking engagements, kind of like the buzz of
buzz.
enhancing membership. I think that's key. to, I've read a lot about MMCA, I've known about it for years, and they're a very strong organization, but you really have to work at it.
You
for
really
anything,
have to work
for
at
anything.
it. And we were very pleased with the turnout that we got at last
yeah.
night's meeting. And there was a lot of energy in the room. There was a lot of excitement about where we're taking the organization.
Because there's so much opportunity out there.
There's
and
so much opportunity
that
out
can't be
there.
missed. And if
it's
if
much
MMC
easier.
with those 75 members and growing, you really need to make sure that you have the opportunity that's deserving of those contractors and construction companies and businesses.
And it's much easier to be part of a collective body that is advocating on your behalf rather than continue to be out there sort of on your own, trying to learn about the opportunities and get your foot in the door. So, you know, we're very excited about that. We're also, another key goal is to continue seeking affiliations with organizations that support diversity and inclusiveness in the business community. So for example, we have a great affiliate relationship with the Associated General Contractors of Boston, but also at the national level.
Perfect.
Yeah, so we have members who are involved with the organization, and we're working very closely with them, and they support the initiatives that we're pursuing.
That's excellent. So we're ready to wrap up, but I just want to say that, again, congratulations on your appointment.
Thank you.
And I think the goals are aggressive, but I think you can do them. And again, I think it's about the momentum that you're bringing. But I think you'll be excellent at it because you're from here, you're experienced, you're in and around Boston, you've had your business for 20 years.
Right.
You know the process of getting contracts with the major entities in the public sector here, so I think you're going to bring to the table all that wealth of information to small businesses that don't even know how to do that.
Exactly.
And I think that seeing you and your demonstration is really going to help. So again, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
No, and maybe I'll have you on in 6 months. You could tell me how it's progressing. I'd love to.
Okay, that would be fabulous.
Excellent. So thank you for attending and viewing this month's show. Stay tuned for Building Boston and Beyond next month, where we will bring guests from the contracting world and the construction world on to share what they've been up to in and around your neighborhood and in Boston.